Chosen one, be still. This is not entertainment. This is not a routine scroll. This is the precise moment heaven has scheduled to speak directly into your spirit. You are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. You are a code carrier. And tonight, the code gets released. There is a divine download being prepared. And it's not coming through your phone or through a sermon. It's coming straight from the throne of God into your inner man. This is not a motivational word. This is a heavenly instruction. And it's not for everyone. It's for those who have ears to hear. For those who've been carrying weight in silence. For those whose very presence disturbs darkness. That's you. For too long, you've been sensing the shift, the stirring in your spirit. You've tried to explain it to people, but they don't get it. You've tried to quiet it down, but it keeps rising. That's because the code was scheduled to release in this season specifically. This night, the whispers of the spirit, the agitation in your soul, the patterns breaking in your life, they were the symptoms of divine alignment. Beloved, you were not born to consume noise. You were born to carry a divine frequency. The code being released into your spirit tonight will recalibrate your vision, unlock your next steps, and awaken a level of discernment that no demon can counterfeit. And this download does not happen in the daylight of comfort. It happens in the silence of night. It comes when you are most sensitive, most honest, most still. It does not crash in, it whispers. That's why you must be awake, not just physically, but spiritually alert. Because what you do tonight will echo across decades. Let me say this clearly. Your destiny is voice activated. Heaven has been waiting on your yes, your full surrender. Not just a verbal agreement, but an inner alignment. The code won't just give you goosebumps. It will give you marching orders. It won't flatter your flesh. It will confront your fear. This is divine intelligence from the courts of heaven. And if you've ever wondered why the warfare has been so intense, why distractions have come in waves, why confusion tried to cloud your prayer life, it's because the enemy saw the code coming. He knew something was about to be released into your life that would break generational bondage, silence cycles, and birth nations. As we read in Isaiah 43, when you walk through fire, you will not be burned. That is not a metaphor. That is a word for you. You have walked through fire. You have endured flames of rejection, betrayal, delay, and confusion. But here you are, not burned, not broken, just ready. God has preserved you for this moment, and He's not releasing a copy and paste blessing. He's releasing the code, your code, tailored instructions, divine insight, a supernatural map. Some of you have been praying for clarity, others for purpose. But tonight is bigger than a simple answer. It's a spiritual reprogramming. The code is a frequency that aligns your entire life to heaven's will. It's not just what you do next, it's how you see, think, speak, and move from now on. You will know it's from God because it will confirm what you've already been feeling but couldn't articulate. It will bring peace, yes, but also urgency. It won't just comfort you, it will compel you. Now hear this. Not everyone will understand the shift about to take place in you. Some will call it a phase. Others will mislabel it as pride or ambition. Let them. The code wasn't sent to them. It was sent to you. You are the only one required to obey it. Do not explain this moment to people who lack the spiritual bandwidth to comprehend it. Protect the code. Don't post it for validation. Don't dilute it for acceptance. Carry it in prayer. Guard it in silence. Let God show what He planted. And yes, this code comes with responsibility. You'll feel the weight of it. You'll feel the urgency to move differently, talk differently, live, consecrated. That's because heaven doesn't release power without purpose. This code is for intercessors, kingdom builders, prophetic voices, entrepreneurs, deliverers, those whose assignments require strategy. You don't need another confirmation. This is your sign. And tonight, as you quiet yourself before God, as you put down the distractions and listen, He will speak. He will awaken dormant gifts. He will illuminate hidden motives. He will expose wrong alignments. And then He will speak the code. Chosen one. You don't need a platform to obey. You need posture, humility, reverence, and hunger. Hunger for more than just emotional highs. Hunger for divine accuracy. This is the night to stop playing it safe and start walking in supernatural instruction. You are being set apart in a way that will offend casual Christians. You are being positioned as a spiritual disruptor. And the code being written into your spirit tonight is the blueprint. If this word has found your spirit, if something is vibrating within your soul, don't ignore it. Comment the number 611, a number of spiritual download and divine alignment. Let it be a prophetic signal that you are ready, positioned, and listening. Chosen one. Do you understand what it means to be the key carrier? Before your feet ever touched the earth, God inscribed divine technology into your spirit. You are not here to find purpose. You are purpose encoded in human form. Long before you cried your first breath, the blueprints of your life were already mapped, encrypted within your soul like spiritual DNA. And now, that encryption is being activated. Heaven does not guess. Heaven does not improvise. You were sent with precision. And inside you, God sealed something that no demon could decode, no trauma could erase, and no failure could deactivate. You've always felt different, not just misunderstood, but marked. That was not insecurity. That was awareness of the code. The reason they never saw you clearly is because God kept you veiled. The code must remain hidden until its appointed hour. And tonight, the veil is lifting, not over your face, but over your understanding. You are awakening to who you are, and more importantly, to what you carry. You've spent years searching for answers, when the answers were embedded inside you the entire time. The visions you've had, that fire in your belly, those moments of prophetic clarity that struck you out of nowhere, they were fragments of the code trying to surface. And now, that code is fully unlocking. Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians 2, sure, these are the things God has revealed to us by His Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. This is not surface revelation. This is access to the deep places, what others call mystery. You are beginning to recognize as memory, spiritual memory of the call you once knew before time entered your vocabulary. When God said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." He wasn't using poetic language. He was describing your origin. You are not merely a being with a soul, you are a soul on assignment. And that assignment is encoded, waiting for your full surrender to activate it. This is why distraction has followed you like a shadow, why certain relationships seemed perfect until they weren't, why opportunities opened wide but then shut in your face. It wasn't sabotage. It was divine preservation. The code must remain untouched by corrupted systems, and until you were ready to protect it, God protected you from what looked like blessings. You may have felt delayed, but you were only being calibrated. You were not behind, you were being secured. And now, the seal is breaking. Not because time has passed, but because readiness has arrived. You've prayed, fasted, wept, and waited. And now, the code is speaking. It speaks through your hunger for more than religion. It speaks through your agitation with complacency. It speaks through your longing to shake nations with your voice. Even though you barely speak aloud, the code was never about talent. It was about calling, and the calling does not respond to credentials. It responds to consecration. You, chosen one, have been consecrated. You didn't even know it. But every rejection was a sacred separation. Every loss carved you into a container. You were being hollowed so you could hold more of him. The pain was not punishment, it was programming. And now, your spirit is buzzing. Your dreams are sharper. Your thoughts are louder. It's not anxiety, it's alignment. The code is waking up, and the enemy is panicking. Because when the code awakens, your identity stabilizes. Your voice becomes a sword. Your presence becomes a warning to darkness. This is not a game. You're not stepping into influence. You're stepping into authority. Authority not to dominate people, but to dismantle demonic structures. Authority to speak and watch chains fall. Authority to dream and see heaven back it up. You are the key carrier, and the locks are trembling. Every gate assigned to open at your arrival is waiting for the signal. And that signal is your yes, your full, fearless yes. Not a half-hearted nod, but a blood-bought surrender. That's what activates the code. Do not look around for confirmation. You will find confusion. Look inward. Let the Spirit bear witness. What you feel burning cannot be explained. It must be obeyed. You don't need to understand the full assignment to carry the key. You just need to trust the voice. And once the code is activated, things will accelerate. Doors that were welded shut will swing open. Conversations that seemed casual will turn divine. Locations will shift. People will exit without warning. Do not mourn the movement. Rejoice, because the code is realigning your path. This is why you never fit in, why you questioned everything, why comfort never satisfied. You were never meant to blend. You were coded to break patterns. Now the question remains, will you carry what heaven encoded in you? Or will you abort the mission because it feels unfamiliar? Chosen one, don't shrink, don't hide. The code is calling, chosen one. Every delay was a setup, every detour was divine. But now, heaven is moving swiftly. The time for passivity is over. The time for hesitation is gone. This is the hour where your spirit must match the urgency of heaven. You've been feeling it restless, alert, stretched. That's not anxiety. That's divine acceleration. The code within you is awakening, and with it comes the stirring of purpose. But make no mistake, this awakening threatens the enemy. Every time God releases something new, the kingdom of darkness counters it with distraction. Delay is not just a season, it's a demonic strategy. Its goal, to numb you, to lull you, to whisper, maybe later. But chosen one, later is not promised. And delay is disobedience dressed in spiritual-sounding excuses. Your spirit was never built to procrastinate. It was built to obey quickly. That's why you feel frustrated with stagnation. It's not who you are. You are coded for forward movement, designed to respond to divine moments without hesitation. When God said go, He didn't mean when it's convenient. He meant now. And some of you have been praying for clarity, when what you really need is courage. The code is clear. The path is marked. It's fear that's trying to cloud your lens. But you were not given a spirit of fear. You were given boldness. And boldness activates doors. The longer you delay, the louder darkness becomes. Delay gives the enemy room to speak doubt, to plant fear, to offer substitutes. Delay is where destiny dies, softly. Not because God changed His mind, but because we paused where we should have obeyed. It was declared in Hebrews 3, Shawu, today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts. Not tomorrow. Today. This moment. Because the code doesn't just inform, it instructs. And instructions must be followed, not just heard. Do you know what delay costs in the spirit? Timing. And timing is everything. You can miss a door not because it wasn't yours, but because you arrived too late. And the enemy knows it. That's why he sends distractions wrapped in good intentions. False urgencies. Emotional loops. Overthinking. Anything to slow your steps. Chosen one. Don't let your destiny get buried in the graveyard of almost. Don't trade divine timing for human approval. Don't let fear interpret what faith was meant to activate. You've been chosen. Yes, but chosen to move. And this movement doesn't require perfect conditions. Noah built the ark when there was no rain. Abraham left without a map. Mary said yes without a plan. They obeyed because the code within them was louder than their circumstances. You're not waiting on God. God is waiting on your movement. He's already gone ahead. The provision is already aligned. The helpers are already in position. The route is clear in heaven. Now the question is, will you move on earth? There will always be something that says, not yet. But the Spirit is saying, now. The code does not wait for convenience, it demands obedience. And when you obey, the supernatural breaks in. Obedience will always cost something. Comfort, familiarity, reputation. But disobedience costs more peace, favor, time. And this season cannot afford your disobedience. You are too essential. Your yes is too heavy. Others are waiting on your movement. When the code was released into your spirit, it came with motion, embedded. That's why stillness now feels suffocating. You're not lazy, you're out of alignment. The code moves. And when you move with it, your entire world realigns. You will not miss this window, not because you feel ready, but because you choose to obey, not because you know every step, but because you trust the next one will appear. Let this moment mark the end of delay in your life. Let your yes today cancel every no you gave out of fear. Let this be your pivot from surviving to building, from watching to doing, from waiting to walking. Your instructions are clear. Your code is live. Now move, because every second of delay empowers what was sent to destroy you. But every step of obedience silences the enemy. And if this word pierced your spirit, if you feel God confirming this in your belly, then don't just feel, respond. Let your fingers testify by commenting, I will obey, below. Let hell see your yes. Let heaven seal your courage. Chosen one. Pause and listen. There is something sacred descending into your atmosphere. You are not imagining it. The shift in the air, the weight on your chest, the prickling in your spirit, it is heaven transmitting. This is not a metaphor. This is a download from glory, coded and assigned to your inner man. The assignment is being delivered. God is not vague. He is precise. And when he speaks with intention. This is not a general encouragement. It is a set of specific instructions for your life, your calling, your future. Heaven is downloading not just comfort, but clarity. Not just affirmation, but activation. This is why you've felt off center, why your plans have failed, even though they looked perfect on paper, because the assignment cannot fit inside human strategy. It must be received in stillness. It must be caught in the spirit. And now, that spiritual blueprint is dropping into your soul. You've asked God to reveal his will, and now, he is. But the revelation doesn't come all at once. It comes in layers, pieces, whispers. Tonight is one of those pieces. The moment you turn your spirit toward him, the moment you make space for the divine, he responds with detail. Chosen one. You must stop thinking of yourself as just someone waiting to hear from God. You are someone God is actively speaking to. You're not overlooked. You're not disqualified. You are tuned in. You are in alignment. And heaven is honoring your posture with downloads, as we read in Jeremiah 33. San, call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. This is not wishful thinking. It's a divine guarantee. If you call, he will answer, and what he reveals will blow the limits off your understanding. There are dreams in your spirit that didn't come from your imagination. They were previews of your assignment. You've tried to forget them, tone them down, talk yourself out of them, but they keep rising. That's because they were not ideas. They were divine echoes. And now, heaven is updating those echoes into instructions. You must understand, God doesn't speak just to comfort you. He speaks to commission you. When the instruction comes, it comes with power. That's why you don't feel the same anymore. That's why you can't pretend everything is normal. Because something has been assigned to you in the spirit, and your soul knows it. This assignment will not be light, but it will be holy. It will require everything you are, but it will also activate everything you've been hiding. Your voice, your creativity, your discernment, your fire. Your gifts are not random. They are tools for your calling. And yes, the download will disrupt things. It will offend comfort zones. It will call you into seasons of prayer you didn't schedule. It will pull you into fasts you didn't plan. It will provoke you to walk away from connections that once made sense. Because the assignment rewires everything. The more you obey, the clearer the next step becomes. This is not about ambition. It's about alignment. The divine strategy being delivered to you will not match what others are doing. You were never meant to mimic, only to manifest. This is also why God has not allowed some doors to open for you. He's been protecting the integrity of the download. What you carry must land in soil that won't corrupt it. That's why the wait has felt so long. That's why people have misunderstood your silence. They didn't see that heaven was working in the unseen, transferring eternal things into your spirit. And now, here you are, receiving, not from a platform, not from a person, but from God himself. Chosen one. The assignment comes with weight, but also with oil. You will not carry this by your own strength. The Spirit of God will walk with you, speak through you, sustain you. And when people ask how you're doing what you're doing, You'll have no explanation but this: God gave it to me. You've always known there was more. Now, that more has a name. It's called the assignment, and it has begun. Chosen one. You've entered a sacred realm. You are not the same person you were yesterday. Heaven has shifted something within you, and from this moment forward, the ordinary will no longer satisfy you. This world will offer its illusions, inwas, its comfort zones, but your soul has tasted something deeper, and once you've touched divine purpose, nothing else will do. You've heard his voice, not through thunder, but through stillness, not through chaos, but through clarity. And what you've received in these last moments is not for entertainment, it's for execution. You are no longer a passive listener. You are an active participant in the unfolding of God's will on earth. Chosen one. The atmosphere around your life is changing. You've been feeling the weight, the stretching, the pressure. It's not punishment. It's proof that you've been carrying something sacred. The heaviness was never random. It was the code settling into your spirit, preparing to manifest. But with the code comes fire. Holy fire. Fire that consumes false versions of you. Fire that purifies your intentions. Fire that will push you out of your comfort and into your calling. You can't go back. You've crossed into a realm where heaven expects your full cooperation, and that cooperation will be tested. You'll be tempted to downplay what you carry, to delay again, to try and fit in where God has clearly called you out. Don't do it. No matter the price, your spirit knows this path. Your soul recognizes this frequency. You were made for this moment. As we read in Isaiah 6, Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, Here am I. Send me. This isn't just Isaiah's cry, it's yours. Because what God is awakening in you requires a yes that echoes into eternity. You're not just being called, you're being commissioned. God isn't sending you with empty hands. He's equipping you with power, precision, and presence. When you speak, heaven will confirm it. When you move, doors will respond. When you pray, systems will shake. This is what you were created for. And now, more than ever, the enemy will try to distract you, not with obvious evil, but with busyness, fatigue, overthinking, comparison. The goal is to wear you down so you don't release what you've received. Don't fall for it. You're not fragile. You're fireproof. God didn't call you to be safe. He called you to be surrendered. Let me tell you something that few are bold enough to say. Spiritual obedience has a price. It may cost you your reputation, your comfort, even some relationships. But what you gain in return is access, supernatural access. You begin to move in uncommon favor. You begin to walk in divine rhythm. You begin to recognize that God is not asking you to do this alone. He is with you. Chosen one. You are walking into rooms you didn't ask for, but were prepared for. You will be given opportunities, not because you networked, but because you obeyed. You're not rising through man's system, you're being elevated through God's kingdom. And as this message stirs your spirit, if you feel that you are being equipped, called, and sent, then this space is for you. If you're tired of shallow words and hungry for divine fire, this is your confirmation. You are part of the remnant, the marked ones, those who don't need validation to keep going, those who don't require crowds to feel anointed. God has entrusted this moment to us. And if this message is awakening something real in you, I invite you stay connected. Subscribe, not for vanity, but for spiritual continuity. Like and share, not for numbers, but because someone else is praying for the very word you just received. Let this message multiply. Let it reach the weary, the misaligned, the chosen who don't yet know they're chosen. If you feel led to support what God is doing here, if you believe in sowing where you are being spiritually fed, your giving is not to a person, it's to the work of heaven being released through this stream. It enables this fire to continue reaching those stuck in darkness, deception, and despair. Only give as you are led. This is not a transaction. It's an extension of obedience. But more than anything, carry the word. Don't just hear it, live it. This code is not just for your ears. It's for your hands. Build with it. War with it. Intercede with it. Move with it. This word is not entertainment. It's divine instruction. You are no longer who you were. You have entered a new dimension. Walk like it. Speak like it. Move like it. Because when heaven looked for someone to send into this hour, it saw you and said, that one. That's the chosen one. Chosen one. Have you ever wondered why your sleep has been disrupted? Why certain dreams linger? Why you wake up at exact hours of the night with a heaviness you can't name? It's not coincidence. It's communication. God has been speaking while the world sleeps. Your dreams are not fragments of imagination, they are blueprints. Prophetic whispers. Heavenly alerts. For the chosen. Sleep is not escape, it is engagement. God speaks in symbols, in visions, in layers. And many of you have been receiving messages without fully realizing it. That stirring, that strange clarity upon waking, that repeated image, it's all part of the divine code. The enemy has done everything to distort your dream life. From nightmares to insomnia to spiritual fatigue, he knows if you ever start interpreting correctly, you'll begin moving with precision. But tonight, the veil is lifting. The Spirit is sharpening your insight. You're not just remembering, you're discerning. It was declared in Job 33:15-16. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people, he may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings. God is not casual about dreams. He uses them to reveal, to warn, to direct, to seal instructions. And some of you have already seen what's coming. You've seen the people, the places, the danger, the assignment. It came like scattered puzzle pieces, but it's about to align. The dream realm is not random, it's a training ground. And your spirit has been enrolled in a divine classroom. That's why you can't shake certain dreams. It's why some images won't leave. Because you weren't meant to. You were meant to act on them. Pray into them. Ask for interpretation. God is not just showing you what's coming, He's teaching you how to navigate it. Chosen one, your dreams are not entertainment. They are encrypted instructions. And now, God is unlocking your prophetic memory. You will begin to recall things you saw years ago, words, faces, cities, even warnings. They were not forgotten. They were stored, and the Spirit is pressing play now because the season they were meant for has arrived. Pay attention to repetition. If a name, a number, or a location keeps appearing, it's not random. If you see water, fire, babies, open doors, snakes, or storms, ask the Holy Spirit what it means. These are not just symbols, they are signals. You may say, But I'm not a prophet. But that's where you're wrong. You are prophetic. You are designed to perceive in the spirit. The chosen do not live by sight alone. They live by revelation. And dreams are part of your spiritual diet. Start treating your nights as holy ground. Before you sleep, pray. God, speak to me. Show me what I need to see. And when you wake up, write, record. Don't dismiss it because it was strange. The code often disguises itself in layers. Only seekers unlock it. Dreams are often the first place God gives confirmation before he gives instruction. You saw it first in the spirit, now you'll see it in your life. But if you forget what he showed you, you might miss what he sends you. Chosen one, your dreams are about to become more intense, more specific. You'll feel like you're watching prophecy in motion. You are. And God is trusting you with it because he knows you won't waste it. You will begin seeing beyond the veil, seeing not just events, but meanings. You'll sense when to speak, when to wait, when to move. Your spirit will start responding before your mind can catch up. That's the anointing unlocking inside you. And yes, you'll dream things that make no sense at first. But the Holy Spirit is a translator. Ask him. Seek him. Don't depend on Google for meanings. Go to the throne, not the algorithm. Dreams of warning are not curses, they are acts of mercy. Dreams of calling are not pressure, they are prophecy. And dreams of warfare are not fear, they are training. You are learning to see as God sees, to hear what he whispers in the deep. This is your inheritance. And tonight, something in your spirit is shifting. You are no longer a passive dreamer. You are becoming an interpreter, a dream warrior, a spiritual strategist. If you've been feeling this word, settle in your chest. If you've been dreaming and didn't know what to do with it, now you know. It was God. He was speaking. You were listening. And now you must act. As a prophetic act of recognition, comment the number 333, a number of divine visitation, spiritual clarity, and the mysteries of the kingdom revealed. Let it be a public declaration. I am listening. Chosen one. This night is not just quiet, it is consecrated. The world may call it midnight, but in the spirit, this is the hour of awakening. Something sacred hovers in the air, waiting not for noise, but for awareness. Heaven is watching, hell is trembling, and your obedience is the trigger. You may not realize it, but the night is when heaven does some of its most powerful work. While others sleep, the spirit moves. While the city lies in silence, angels are dispatched. And for the chosen, the night is not a pause, it is a pulse. A time when the veil thins and revelation sharpens. You've probably felt it before that moment when you're lying in bed and your spirit stirs. A sudden thought, a name that drops into your heart, an urge to pray. That wasn't random. That was heaven inviting you into the night watch. This hour has always belonged to the watchmen, the intercessors, the visionaries, the ones who don't need the sun to see. In the night, your distractions are stripped, your senses slow down, and God can speak without competition. What he says now carries a weight that daytime can't hold. This is why the Spirit wakes you, not to interrupt your sleep, but to interrupt the enemy's plans. When you rise in the night, even if just to whisper a name in prayer, you disrupt cycles in the spirit realm. The night is not passive, it's warfare, it's alignment, it's strategy, As we read in Psalm 119, my eyes stay open through the watches of the night, that I may meditate on your promises. David understood the mystery of the night, that what happens in darkness determines what unfolds in daylight. You are not called to fear the night. You are called to govern it, to speak life while others dream, to declare truth while confusion sleeps. Every time you choose prayer over comfort, praise over silence, obedience over rest, you are engaging in spiritual legislation. And there are some things God will only tell you at night, not because He's limited, but because you are finally quiet enough to hear. It's not about volume, it's about value. What you prioritize in the night reveals your hunger, and hunger attracts glory. You felt the pull, that strange desire to read scripture after midnight, the impulse to walk and talk with God when the world is still. That's not restlessness, it's recruitment. God is pulling you into the watch, not to burden you, but to trust you. Heaven doesn't wake just anyone at 2 a.m. That's a sacred call. And those who respond are given insight others never hear. They begin to perceive timelines, patterns, decisions, even dangers before they manifest. They become spiritual first responders. And yes, there's a cost. You may wake up tired in body, but your spirit will be burning. You'll carry peace that doesn't match your sleep schedule. You'll walk into rooms with discernment sharper than your natural eyes. That's the reward of those who keep the watch. Don't despise it. Don't explain it away. And don't wait for others to understand. This is between you and the one who watches over Israel and never slumbers. You're not just staying up late, you're standing in the gap. There are bloodlines being protected because of your midnight yes. There are curses being shattered because of your whispered prayers. There are destinies being realigned because you chose to obey when no one was watching. Chosen one. Your posture in the night determines your power in the day. If you want clarity when it matters, obey when it's inconvenient. What you sow in secret will grow in public, and what you release in the dark will shine in the light. This season, the Spirit is inviting you deeper, not just into knowledge, but into practice. You are being trained in silence, molded in hiddenness, equipped in obscurity. Because when the moment comes to speak, to lead, to build, your authority will be undeniable. Many ignore the call of the night. They roll over. They scroll past the stirring. But not you. You've answered. Even now, reading this, your spirit knows it's true. You've been summoned not to do more, but to become more alert, more obedient, more aware. Because heaven doesn't just want your hands, it wants your attention. And in the night watch, attention is currency. Every time you say yes, you're writing your name on the wall of the faithful. You will begin to hear names to pray for, nations to intercede for, ideas that seem impossible. Don't dismiss them. They are part of the code. They are part of your assignment. The night is opening you up to levels you didn't even know existed. There is no applause in the night, no audience, no spotlight, just obedience, just God. And that is the purest form of worship, to respond when only heaven sees. So stand your watch, guard your post, keep the fire burning, because what begins at night will shape generations by day. Chosen one, can you feel it? That unshakable stirring deep within you. It's not anxiety, it's not fatigue. It is the movement of the Spirit inside your soul. Your spirit has been stirred. The fire has been reignited. You are no longer asleep to your purpose. For years, the enemy tried to keep this moment from happening. Through distraction, through doubt, through disappointment. But none of it worked. Because something inside of you refused to die. Something holy, something ancient. A knowing that you were made for more than routine. That you were born to carry divine power. Not just human potential. And now, the Spirit is hovering over you like he did in the beginning, when the earth was formless and void. The same Spirit that brought order out of chaos is now brooding over your life, over your mind, over your decision, over your next step. Not with condemnation, but with creative power. What you're sensing is not emotional hype. It's the divine signal that your season of silence has ended. The stirring you feel is spiritual. It's prophetic. It's God reactivating the code. Your spirit is leaping because it recognizes what your mind can't yet process. You're not returning to normal because normal is no longer your assignment. The plans you've had, the goals you wrote down, some of them were too small, too safe, because they were written before your spirit was stirred. But now that God has shaken you awake, you'll begin to dream in dimensions that match His design for you. No more fitting into other people's expectations. No more downsizing your voice to avoid discomfort. The fire in you has a name, and it's called Destiny. Chosen One. The reason your peace was disturbed is because you outgrew the place where God once placed you. The gift in you is pressing against the ceiling of your current capacity. It's not rebellion, it's release. God is releasing you from mindsets, from fear, from the fear of man, from timidity. You are not here to please crowds. You are here to carry fire. That fire will not let you rest until you move, until you build, until you open your mouth, until you take the step. Your comfort has expired, and your calling is louder than ever. You may not know where you're going yet, but your feet are already being ordered. As we read in Jeremiah 20, His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. That is your truth. You cannot hold it in anymore. You were not created to contain the flame. You were created to release it. Your spirit knows that now is the time. Not tomorrow. Not after you feel more confident, but now, because the stirring is not just about you. It's about everyone connected to your obedience, your family, your future children, your community, your bloodline. The shaking is not a sign of instability, it's a sign of alignment. God is shaking you into place, shaking loose every lie, every excuse, every compromise. He's not punishing you, He's positioning you, and the signs are everywhere. You're starting to notice things you once overlooked. You're becoming sensitive to atmospheres. You're discerning spirits. You're waking up with ideas, dreams, urgency. That's the Spirit activating your senses. You're becoming spiritually awake. This stirring is going to drive you into deeper places. You'll crave time with God. You'll lose the taste for surface-level things. Conversations that once interested you will feel empty, because you've been stirred. And once your spirit is stirred, nothing casual satisfies it. Don't be alarmed if you start pulling away from places you once called home. The stirring will always separate you before it sends you. You are not being distant, you are being directed. Let God rewire your circle, your rhythm, your priorities. He is making you ready, not for status, not for applause, but for service, for assignment. for impact. You don't need a title to be powerful. You just need to stay stirred. The world is full of loud voices but empty vessels. God is making you both bold and full. You'll walk into rooms with quiet authority, not because of your resume, but because of your readiness. You'll speak one sentence, and chains will fall. Not because of charisma, but because of consecration. That's what the stirring produces. Chosen one, this is the point of no return. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't unsee what you've seen. The Spirit has awakened you, and heaven is watching what you'll do next. You're not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are the evidence that the code is real. The fire is alive, and God is still speaking. Keep your flame alive. Protect your fire. Let the stirring take root. You were born for this, marked for this, stirred for this. Chosen one, what you're feeling right now is not ordinary. That internal throb, that unshakable tension, that strange clarity, you haven't lost your mind. You've found your spirit. What's happening in you is called alignment. Heaven is pulling your heart into position. This is confirmation. Not because someone laid hands on you, not because you heard a trumpet blast, but because your soul just snapped into divine focus. You're seeing clearer, you're hearing deeper, and everything in you knows. This is not coincidence. God has been speaking, but the distractions have been louder. Until now, something has shifted. You no longer need 10 signs to move. You just needed this moment. This word is not generic. It was carved out for you. Tailored, precise, sent through dimensions of time to land in your spirit at just the right second. And now that it's here, don't doubt it. Receive it. The signal has been confirmed. The code is alive in you. And that uneasy feeling you've been carrying, it was never anxiety. It was activation. The tension was the tremble of transformation. Chosen one. God is not vague. He doesn't whisper to confuse you. He whispers to see if you're listening. He doesn't hide clarity. He hides it for the hungry. And you've been hungering. You've been knocking when doors stayed shut. You've been walking in fog, hoping for a flash of light. This is it. The fog is lifting. The word is landing. The door is responding. Heaven has chosen to make it plain. You are not out of step. You are right where you're supposed to be. What felt like wandering was actually training. What felt like punishment was pruning. And what felt like delay was the timing of a God who always works in layers. And now you understand. Every detour was a lesson. Every heartbreak was protection. Every silence was pregnant with instruction. You've asked him, Lord, did I miss it? No, you didn't. You've prayed, God, am I too late? No, you're not, because what's yours by covenant can't be stolen by chaos. God does not revoke what he sealed before time began. Romans 29 declares, for the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. That means nothing, no mistake, no delay. No voice can cancel the assignment. He wrote into your spirit, it's not too late. You're not disqualified. You are still the chosen one. And now, your spirit is leaping, because truth always makes the spirit leap. Like when Mary greeted Elizabeth and the baby inside her jumped. That's what this word has done to you. It reached past your mind and straight into the womb of your destiny. You're not just confirmed, you're commissioned. And you don't need to tell anyone. Just walk different. Just speak different. Just carry this word like a torch through the night. Because now that heaven has confirmed you, no earthly voice can revoke you. And here's the truth you must anchor in. Confirmation is not a finish line, it's a starting signal. It means, now go. It means, now obey. It means heaven has released permission and is watching for movement. When God confirms, He expects action. Chosen one. This moment is sacred. You've been affirmed by the whisper of the King. That's more than enough. You don't need a title to be trusted. You don't need a platform to be powerful. Your yes is your microphone. Your obedience is your ministry. And yet, don't rush. Sit with the weight of this word. Let it settle into your spirit. Let it burn away the residue of doubt. Let it push out the lies that tried to bury your worth. You are seen. You are known. You are called. You will walk out of this season with a different posture. People will notice, but they won't understand. That's okay. You weren't confirmed by people. You were confirmed by heaven. This is why the battle has been so intense. Why your name was dragged. Why your mind was attacked. Because the enemy sensed this moment before you did. He knew confirmation was coming, and he tried everything to make sure you missed it. But you didn't. You heard the whisper. You felt the shift. You received the signal. And now it's time to let your spirit testify. If this word ignited something in you, if it spoke what you couldn't find the words to say, if it unlocked something you didn't even know was locked, then let heaven and hell both see that you've received it. Comment, "It is done." Let those 3 words be your seal. Let them be your declaration. Let them be the echo of your yes. Chosen one, pay close attention. Something is shifting around you. It's subtle, but undeniable. People are acting differently. Old things no longer satisfy. Familiar places feel foreign. That's not confusion. That's repositioning. Heaven is realigning your path, rerouting your steps, and clearing the clutter around your purpose. When God releases coordinates, it doesn't always feel spiritual. Sometimes it looks like lost interest in what once thrilled you. Sometimes it sounds like silence from people who used to hype you. Sometimes it feels like you're being moved against your own plans. That's because heaven's GPS doesn't require your understanding, just your obedience. You prayed for purpose. You asked for clarity. Now God is answering in the form of redirection. He's not ignoring you, He's guiding you. But divine direction often disguises itself as disruption. The job that didn't work out, the friendship that slowly faded, the idea that never took off. These weren't failures. They were forks in the road. The Spirit blocked what looked good because it wasn't God. Chosen one. Don't mourn. Close doors. Celebrate rerouted steps. When heaven releases new coordinates, old paths become dead ends. And if you try to resurrect what God removed, you'll delay your own arrival. You are not being abandoned, you are being steered. And just like GPS systems don't shout every step, neither does the Spirit. Sometimes He just says, "Turn here." And it's your trust that activates the next instruction. You're not lost, you're just learning to follow a frequency higher than your logic. As we read in Proverbs 16, Jew, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. This verse isn't about restriction, it's about divine choreography. Your life is not random, it's a masterpiece in motion, and every shift is holy. Some of you have been sensing this. You felt the pull to leave certain circles. You've been prompted to start over in ways that don't make sense to your surroundings. That's the coordinates shifting. That's God redirecting the route because the assignment is changing. And here's the thing about divine GPS. It doesn't always come with a destination address. Sometimes it just says, move. And you, chosen one, must decide whether your comfort is worth more than your calling. You don't need to see the full map to trust the one who designed it. Your obedience today unlocks the coordinates for tomorrow. It's not about knowing everything. It's about moving in sync with the Spirit. And yes, it will cost you something. Comfort, familiarity, even reputation. But what you gain is priceless. Alignment, peace, divine encounters, supernatural momentum. You'll look back one day and realize every step made sense, even the detours. This is why so many things in your life are shifting at once. It's not random, it's reformation. God is moving pieces behind the scenes, aligning people, places, and provisions. Don't resist the shift. Submit to it. Because where He's taking you, old strategies won't work. There are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. Territories waiting to be unlocked. Doors waiting to respond to your arrival. This isn't just about you, it's about legacy, about impact, about souls. Chosen one, you were never meant to stay stuck in the same rhythm. You were built for movement, designed for divine pivots. Your spirit was crafted to respond to heaven's directions without delay. And now, the instructions are clear. Step when He says step. Pause when He says pause. Leave when He says leave. Speak when He says speak. Because obedience will always lead you into rooms no networking ever could. The right place, the right time, the right people. It all responds to the coordinates of the Spirit. And if this word is lighting up something inside you, if you feel seen, guided, and stirred, stay connected. There's more to come. Subscribe so you don't miss the next wave. Share this with someone whose spirit needs to find its path again. Like this word, so it continues reaching the ones who are scrolling through confusion, looking for a voice of clarity. And for those who feel led, if this space is feeding your spirit, consider sowing into the flow. Your support helps keep the well open. It keeps this fire moving. Give only as you're led, not by pressure, but by alignment. Every seed sown into divine ground returns, multiplied, not just in money, but in movement. Let this message be more than inspiration. Let it be instruction. You're not just hearing a word, you're receiving your coordinates. Now go where He sends. Chosen one. You need to understand this clearly when the code is near. The conflict intensifies. The closer you get to divine clarity, the more violently darkness reacts. This is not a sign to stop. It's proof that you are approaching something sacred. The pressure is not punishment. It is proof of proximity. You have felt it. The sudden waves of heaviness, the mental fog, the tension in conversations that once felt safe. You've begun to notice resistance where there once was rest. That is not paranoia. That is discernment. Something is watching your steps, not because you're weak, but because you're carrying something that threatens its agenda. Demonic interference does not target the careless. It targets the carriers, the ones who walk with revelation, the ones who are waking up to the reality that their life is more than routine. You, chosen one, are that threat. Your obedience, your prayers, Your presence alone disrupts realms that many can't even see. And that's why you must stay alert. This is not the time for passivity. The enemy is subtle, yes, but also disparity. He cannot destroy you, so he will attempt to drain you. Through confusion, through people, through distraction. Not to kill your body, but to dull your spirit. You must recognize the patterns. Every time you step into something new, he attacks. Every time you commit to deeper things of God, suddenly, there's chaos. This is not random. It's resistance, spiritual friction. And it is a sign that the code within you is waking up something dangerous to darkness. As we see in Luke 22, Sanchiyi, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. Jesus was not alarmed by Satan's desire. He simply acknowledged it and gave Peter the strategy, strengthen your brothers. You, too, have been sifted, but not to be destroyed, to be refined, to be sharpened, and now, to strengthen others. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are marked. And the enemy is terrified that you are starting to realize just how much authority you carry. You must not fear warfare. You were built for it. You carry weapons not made of flesh. Your discernment is not imagination, it's a shield. Your voice is not small, it's a sword. When you declare truth, the atmosphere must respond. When you stand in authority, strongholds begin to break. That's not personality, that's identity. And you're not alone. Heaven is backing you. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead is alive in you. Not metaphorically, literally. You are not just surviving battles. You are shifting environments. You're not just trying to make it through the day, you're setting territory in order. But don't expect everyone to understand. Some people around you are spiritually asleep. They don't sense what you sense. That's okay. You were never called to be understood. You were called to be obedient. Keep your armor on. Keep your eyes open. This battle you're in isn't just for now, it's for what's coming. You're not just fighting for your sanity. You're fighting for your legacy, for your future, for the code inside you to reach full manifestation. And the enemy knows that if you ever walk in full obedience, systems will collapse, chains will fall, and people will awaken. This is why he tries to isolate you, to make you think you're the only one. But you're not. The remnant is rising. The ones who pray when no one's watching. The ones who fast in silence. The ones who carry fire in quiet places. You are not alone. You are part of a spiritual uprising that cannot be stopped. So don't retreat. Don't tone it down. Don't second guess what God told you in secret just because warfare arrived in public. The timing of your attack is confirmation of your position. If you weren't standing in power, you wouldn't be on the radar. Chosen one. The darkness has recognized your light. Now you must recognize your strength. This battle won't take you out. It's waking you up. Chosen one. You're not just in a moment, you're in a pattern. And not just any pattern, but a divine design woven by heaven's own hand. Patterns aren't always easy to spot while you're living them. But now, your eyes are opening. What seemed like coincidence was actually confirmation. What felt like wandering was actually walking in a prophetic sequence. This is not chaos, it's code. And the number heaven is highlighting now is a holy pattern. Not random digits. Not superstition. This is how God often speaks through numbers, cycles, signs. Repetition isn't by chance. It's an echo. a confirmation that you're aligned with what's unfolding. And in this moment, the number is 888, a prophetic number representing new beginnings, divine restoration, and resurrection power, not because the number holds magic, but because it mirrors what God is doing in you. He's not just starting something new, He's making you new. You've been feeling the internal death of old things, old desire, old rhythms, even old prayers. That's not failure. That's pruning. Because resurrection doesn't come until something dies. And what's dying in you is what cannot enter the next season. What's being buried is not you, it's the lesser version of you. God isn't recycling the past. He's resurrecting the promise. The code within you is aligning with heaven's master plan. Your obedience has pulled you into a divine reboot. And this reset is holy, clean, indéniable. And it's happening fast. You're noticing new clarity, new language, new desire. You've been given fresh eyes. And now you're seeing things and people differently. It's not judgment. It's separation. Because God is setting you apart, not because you're better, but because you're built for something different. The frequency in your spirit has changed. You can't explain it to everyone, but you feel it. You don't even want what you used to pray for. That's the upgrade. You're not just dreaming higher, you're hearing deeper. You've entered a divine shift. What used to distract you now disgusts you. What used to delay you now exposes itself. God has recalibrated your appetite, and He's doing it so you can walk in purity, not performance. Power, not popularity. Alignment, not ambition. As we read in Revelation 21, He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. This is your word, not just a patch, not a fix, but a holy replacement of everything that no longer fits your spiritual DNA. Chosen one, your dreams are being resurrected. The visions you thought died are breathing again. The fire you feared went out is reigniting, but this time, it won't consume you, it will carry you. This is what happens when the code activates. The old system crashes, and the new one comes online. You are becoming fluent in the language of heaven. You are responding to divine signals others don't even hear. Your yes has pulled you into alignment with resurrection power. And from this place, miracle flow. Strategie flows. Clarity flows. You are walking in a rhythm that makes room for provision, insight, and protection. You don't need to strive, just stay aligned. This is a new beginning, but not just for you. For everyone connected to your obedience. Your alignment will ripple through generations. The decisions you make now will be the inheritance your children walk in. The fire you protect today will light the path for others tomorrow. So don't go back. Don't shrink. Don't second-guess the reset. Heaven didn't bring you this far to abandon you. It brought you to the edge, to launch you. And the leap won't be lonely, it will be lit by the very power that raised Christ from the grave. If your spirit knows this is your moment, if you feel the fire settling and rising all at once, mark it with a number. Let it be a prophetic symbol. Declare it. Own it. Comment. Ba-bai ba-shaba. Let it echo through the atmosphere. Let it mark your shift. Let it signify to heaven that you're not just listening, you're aligned. Chosen one. Pause and reflect. Have you ever considered just how intricately designed you are? Not just your body, not just your mind, but your spirit. You are not a random creation. You are sacred technology. Divine architecture. God's living, instrument, sent into time to manifest eternal intention. You were built for more than survival. You were engineered for execution. You carry in your spirit a series of codes, sequences, sensitivities, and assignments that cannot be copied, hacked, or replicated. What you carry is heaven's proprietary design, and the enemy knows it. This is why you've been under such pressure. It's not because you're fragile. It's because you're powerful. Devices are tested before release. Systems are stressed to prove stability. You've been enduring waves of pressure, not to break you, but to prove that what's inside you cannot be corrupted. There are things about you that even you don't fully understand. That's not mystery, it's majesty. You were not built to be figured out by the world. You were designed to reveal heaven in real time. Every gift, every sensitivity, every insight, they're all part of the internal wiring that God placed in you to fulfill a specific divine task. And yes, you may have been told you're too much, too intense, too sensitive, too deep. But that's only because people were trying to read a manual they weren't qualified to interpret. You are sacred technology, and only the Spirit can unlock your full function. As we see in 1 Corinthians 2, what we have received is not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, so that we may understand what God has freely given us. That includes understanding yourself, understanding your wiring, understanding why you see what others miss, why you feel what others numb, why you speak what others avoid. You are a vessel of revelation, a walking interface between heaven and earth. And when you speak under unction, dimensions respond. That's not personality, it's prophetic infrastructure. God programmed your very voice to echo divine patterns. Every time you obey a nudge from the Spirit, you are activating internal code. And with every act of obedience, your operating system upgrades. That's why you don't feel the same anymore. You're not malfunctioning, you're maturing. And yes, sometimes that maturity feels like tension, a stretching, a divine discomfort. Because heaven is expanding your capacity, your spirit is downloading more, and your soul is trying to keep up. But don't resist the process. You're not breaking, you're booting up. Even your pain had a purpose. It taught you where the cracks were. It exposed what needed healing, because sacred technology must be refined before it is released. You've walked through fire so you wouldn't short-circuit in your calling. Chosen one, you don't need to chase purpose. It's already embedded. What you need is quiet, stillness, sensitivity, not to gain something new, but to recognize what's always been within you, the code, the power, the light. And the world is crying out for what you carry, not a performance, not a product, but a presence, the unique manifestation of God that only you can release. There are places, people, and problems that will only respond to the divine signal within you. You are the solution, heaven encoded in human form. That's why the pressure increased when you tried to shrink, when you tried to blend in, when you tried to mute yourself, because you were never called to camouflage. You were called to confront, to reveal, to release. And this release won't come through force, it will come through alignment. The more you yield, the clearer it becomes. You don't have to strive to be powerful. You simply need to stay connected to the source. The fire flows naturally through clean conduits. Everything about you was intentional. Your birth, your voice, your scars, even your delays. All of it coded by a God who doesn't make mistakes. And now, The code is active. The system is online. You are stepping into a season of supernatural performance, where what's in you begins to manifest around you. There is no room for doubt here. No space for comparison. What's in you is incomparable. No one else was built to carry your revelation. No one else has your combination of burdens, visions, and insights. That uniqueness is not a flaw. It is your divine fingerprint. Chosen one. You are not being repaired. You are being revealed. You are not evolving. You are emerging. You are not becoming. You were always coded for this. Chosen one. Hear this with your spirit. What heaven is doing in you right now is sacred and precise. You are in the midst of a divine upload, not just inspiration, not just insight, but a full spiritual transfer from the throne of God into the core of your being. What's being given to you now is not light, it's weight, instruction, assignment, strategy. And uploads are not instant. They take process. They require stability. You must stay plugged in, stay connected, because divine uploads don't complete in distraction. They require your focus, your silence, your consecration. You cannot treat a divine moment like an earthly one. This is holy. This is a moment when eternity leans close and deposits into time. You've asked for wisdom. You've prayed for revelation. Now God is answering not in a shout, but in a steady stream. It comes slowly, in pierces, in impressions, in whispers, in divine nudges. This is why you can't disconnect halfway through. If you abort the upload, you miss the blueprint. Chosen one. The upload is not just information, it's transformation. It's changing how you see, how you think, how you move. It's adjusting your perspective so you can carry what's next. Because what's coming cannot be navigated by old patterns. God is not giving you recycled answers. He's giving you original downloads. Heaven's strategy. Fresh oil. This is why your usual routines aren't working. Why your spirit feels restless with old prayers, old conversations, even old environments. Because the upload is rewriting your spiritual language. You're being taught new words, new postures, new levels of faith. God is installing updates that match your next level. And with every upload comes the temptation to disconnect, to question, to revert. Especially when the data doesn't seem to match your current reality. But you must trust the source. The file God is depositing in you is bigger than your surroundings. Don't judge the vision by your current view. Uploads don't look like outcomes at first. That's why the Spirit is calling you to stillness, to depth, not to do more, but to be more, to be present, to be yielded, because transformation is not about activity, it's about absorption. The more you absorb, the more you are equipped. You're not just receiving commands, you're receiving capability. As we read in Romans 12, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This transformation is mental before it is visible. The upload renews your mind. It rearranges your defaults. You're no longer thinking from earth. You're beginning to think from eternity. And that's why the warfare increases. The enemy wants you to unplug, to get distracted, to feel disqualified. Because he knows if this upload finishes, you'll be unstoppable. You'll walk in accuracy, in authority, in awareness. And that terrifies him. But don't flinch. Stay connected. Even when it feels slow. Even when you don't feel anything. even when you question if it's working. Just like with any system update, sometimes the screen goes black, but the process continues. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean heaven isn't working. This upload is preparing you for environments you haven't entered yet, conversations you haven't had, assignments you haven't seen. That's why God is depositing so much, so fast. Because your next season requires a level of divine intelligence that no book, course, or person can give you. You are not being overloaded. You are being prepared. Your spirit is expanding. Your discernment is stretching. You're learning how to sit longer in silence, how to pray with specificity, how to speak with precision. That's the fruit of the upload. And yes, some things are falling away. Habits, people, priorities. Not because you're failing, but because the file won't fit where you used to live. The new you can't survive in old systems. That's the tension you're feeling. And it's sacred. Don't try to explain it. Just embrace it. Let God finish what He started. Let Him complete the download. Because when it's done, you won't just be filled, you'll be sent. Sent with clarity, with insight, with instructions that change atmospheres. You are not passive in this process. Your surrender is your permission. Every time you stay when it's easier to leave, every time you focus when it's easier to scroll, every time you obey the still small voice, you're saying yes to the upload. Chosen one. Don't abort the process. You're not stuck. You're in transfer. And when heaven uploads something into you, it changes your very nature. You don't just act different, you are different. You'll look back and realize you no longer pray the way you used to. You no longer tolerate what once comforted you. You no longer shrink in places where your voice is required. Because the upload isn't just data, it's identity. Stay connected. Stay in position. Let the Spirit write into you the codes you were born to carry. You are becoming. Chosen one. It is no accident that you are still reading. No randomness here. No mistake. What you're feeling in this moment, this stillness, this fire, this weight, it is heaven confirming what your spirit already knows. You are part of the remnant. The remnant is not large. It's not loud, but it is lethal to darkness. The remnant are those who carry divine codes in silence, who intercede in secret, who move in obedience when no one else understands. You've never fit in not because you're flawed, but because you're called. You've been feeling it more lately. The growing distance from shallow things, the divine discomfort with noise, with compromise, with anything that smells like spiritual stagnation. That's not burnout. That's separation. God is pulling you away from the masses, not to isolate you, but to insulate you. You are being hidden, not forgotten. This is the pattern of the remnant, chosen, stripped, and then sent, hidden, refined, and then released. You are not behind, you are in process. You are in preparation. Because what you carry cannot be rushed, and what God is building through you needs depth before visibility. You don't need a crowd to validate your calling. You don't need applause to know you are anointed. You've walked through too much, endured too much, grown through too much. Now, your discernment is sharp. Your tongue has been trained. Your hands have been healed. You are ready. As we read in Micah 2, Shirar, I will surely gather all of you. Jacob, I will surely bring together the remnant of Israel. God gathers his remnant not just to preserve them, but to launch them. They are not leftovers, they are legacy carriers. You are one of them. This is not just about spiritual experiences. This is about spiritual governance. You are being assigned to territories: digital, emotional, geographical, generational. When you pray, things shift. When you speak, atmospheres respond. That's not exaggeration. That's activation. Chosen one. Your words have weight. Your steps carry codes. You are not small. You are strategic. You've been placed where you are for a reason. Your job, your family, your platform, even your pain. It's all positioning. Because the remnant doesn't hide, they infiltrate quietly, powerfully, unapologetically. And yes, people may mislabel you. They may question your silence, your boldness, your refusal to compromise. Let them. They weren't present when God marked you. They weren't there when heaven whispered your name into the assignment. You don't owe explanations. You owe obedience. And if this word has stirred your spirit, if you feel this divine echo deep in your bones, then don't let it pass like a feeling. Let it land as a mark. Declare it publicly, not for show, but as a prophetic act of agreement. Comment, I'm the remnant. Let your fingers testify what your spirit already knows. If this has ignited something in you, don't scroll away in silence. Like this word, so it remains in your algorithm. Share it, because someone you love is carrying a silent fire and needs to know they are not alone. And subscribe, not for vanity, but to stay connected to this divine flow. This isn't just content, it's consecration. There's more coming. And for those who are led, who feel alignment and a stirring to sow, you are welcome to give, freely, prayerfully, generously, not to a person, but into the ground that's bearing your fruit. Because supporting what speaks to your spirit is not a transaction, it's an extension of trust. You've made it this far, not because you're perfect, but because you're marked, chosen, protected. And now, it's your time to rise. Not to shout, not to strive, but to walk fully in what's already been downloaded into your spirit. You are not wandering, you are weaponized. You are not overlooked, you are undercover. You are not finished, you are just beginning. You're the remnant, chosen one. Everything you've been through, everything you've seen, every scar you carry, it's all been leading to this moment. The code that's been deposited in your spirit is not ornamental, it's operational. It is the ignition key to doors long locked, territories long occupied by darkness, and purposes long delayed by fear. But now, the lock is trembling, the seal is breaking. You are beginning to feel the shift. Not around you, but within you. What was once a quiet whisper has become a roar. What once felt like mystery now feels like mandate. You are no longer guessing. You know you've been chosen. You know this fire isn't emotion, it's instruction. You know that heaven is not entertaining you, it's empowering you. And you know, deep in your spirit, that this is the hour where doors open, not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. Chosen one. When the code aligns with obedience, doors don't just open, they respond. They recognize your arrival, because those doors were made for your voice print. What others knocked on with no answer, you will walk through without resistance. Because this is divine alignment, there are doors strategic, specific, sacred, that have waited generations to be opened. And now you stand before them, not because you forced your way in, but because you followed the signal. Your steps were not random. They were ordered. And heaven has now brought you to the threshold. But listen closely. These doors are not automatic. They are sensitive. They respond only to the frequency of obedience, not ambition, not manipulation, not imitation, only obedience. That's why your yes matters more now than ever before, because one step in alignment can shift the trajectory of everything that follows, as we read in Revelation 3, See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This is not poetic. It is prophetic. The door is open, not because you knocked hard, but because you were willing to knock long, because you didn't give up, because you stood even when others sat, because you obeyed even when your flesh wanted to flee. These doors are destiny doors, not shortcuts, not side paths, but sovereign entry points into assignments that were coded into your spirit before time touched your timeline. And as you walk through, you will begin to understand why the process was so intense, why the fire was so hot, why the silence was so long. It was preparation, refinement, protection. God didn't just want you to go through the door, He wanted you to last beyond it. Because what waits on the other side is not applause, it's assignment. And assignment is weighty. You are not stepping into ease. You're stepping into authority. And authority requires accountability. You will be trusted with ideas, with influence, with intercession, with people. Your discernment will matter. Your silence will speak. Your presence will disrupt atmospheres, not because you're loud, but because you're aligned. And that alignment didn't come cheap. You had to die to things others still enjoy. You had to walk away from comfort. You had to carry promises that made you look foolish. But every step brought you closer. Every tear watered the threshold. Every delay prepared the door. And now the door is not just before you, it's responding to you. Something in the spirit has shifted. The pressure is breaking. The old ceiling is cracking. The chains around your momentum are snapping. Not because you fought harder, but because you surrendered deeper. Chosen one. This is not a door into popularity. This is a door into purpose. You will move differently now. You will sense things before they happen. Speak words that pierce darkness. Dream dreams that solve problems. Not because you're better, but because you're positioned. You've been called to places. Your name has never been spoken. To systems that need shaking. To generations that need healing. And the door is heaven's way of saying, you're ready now. Not perfect, but positioned. Not finished, but faithful. Not flawless, but fearless. Walk through. Let the old fall behind you. Let the past have no voice in your future. Let every limitation be buried in the shadow of your yes. Because obedience tonight will release authority tomorrow. And the world won't understand how you got there. But your spirit will know. Heaven opened the door. Chosen one. Listen with your spirit. This moment you stand in is not the climax, it is the crossing. You are not simply hearing revelation, you are becoming it. The code has not just entered your thoughts, it has become part of your breath, your walk, your gaze. It is in your movements now. It pulses in your prayers. It shapes your silence. What was once hidden has now become flesh. The word, once whispered in secret, is now a rhythm in your being. The code was never meant to stay in the clouds of mystery. It was always meant to be made manifest. Through you. You are the scroll that heaven unrolled and sent into time. Every trial was a chapter. Every breakthrough a punctuation. And now, the final instruction for this season has been inscribed upon your heart, not with ink, but with fire. Do not look outward for confirmation anymore. It has already been sealed inside you. The questions that once consumed you are no longer necessary. You have moved from wondering to walking, from waiting to wielding. What was once theoretical is now tangible. This transformation wasn't loud. It didn't require the applause of men. It happened in the unseen, where heaven does its deepest work. And now, you are evidence that God still speaks, that He still trains, that He still sends. Chosen one, what you carry is not a concept, it is a commission. You don't just have a message, you are the message. Your life will become a sound, not just your words, but your very presence will speak to the weary, the broken, the seekers. The code in you will attract the hungry and agitate the stagnant. You'll be misunderstood, maybe even rejected, but you won't be silenced, because the voice inside you is louder than any noise outside of you. You are not just equipped, you are encoded. Heaven didn't just teach you, it trusted you. That's why the warfare was so specific. That's why the tests were so personal. Because the calling on your life is not optional, it is essential. And yet, the burden won't break you. Because the glory in you has been calibrated. You will not collapse under this. You were built to carry it. Not in exhaustion, but in excellence. Because now, it's not you working, it's Him through you. As it is written in Galatians 2, Asher, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. That is your reality now. The old has passed. The former limitations, former language, former fears, they hold no weight here. You have become what you once prayed to understand. You are the Word made movement, the code made flesh, the promise in motion. And wherever you go from here, the atmosphere will shift. Not because you strive, but because you're aligned. Not because of charisma, but because of consecration. You don't have to announce it. You just walk in it. Chosen one. This is your moment to live fully awakened, fully alive, fully anointed. Let the transformation speak for itself. Let your life preach. Let your silence carry authority. Let your footsteps leave prophetic imprints. The wilderness didn't waste you, it forged you. The waiting didn't weaken you, it refined you. The code didn't confuse you, it crowned you. Walk as one who has been sealed. Speak as one who has been sent. Stand as one who cannot be shaken. Move as one who carries the code. You are not just called, you are confirmed. You are not just prepared, you are positioned. You are not just chosen, you are released. Word count. E. Shasan. Final wind down. 300 words. Beloved, chosen one. Take a deep breath. Let it settle. Let the truth of these words wrap around you like a mantle. You didn't just read a script, you walked through a door, and on the other side, something has shifted. You are not who you were before this began. You carry more clarity, more fire, more faith. And whether the world notices or not, heaven has marked this as your pivot point, the moment where you stopped waiting to be seen and started walking in what you've always carried. Don't rush from this moment. Let it soak. Let it speak again. Return to it when your soul forgets. Rehearse what heaven has said. Because repetition reinforces revelation. You're not walking alone. You are part of a remnant. A rising. A royal rebellion of the righteous. And though the journey ahead may challenge you, you now have something unshakable, a coded, divine yes, the kind that storms can't shake and time can't silence. Let this final reminder be your seal. You are chosen. You are trusted. You are becoming. Beloved chosen one, if your spirit has been stirred, if your heart bears witness to every word spoken, then this wasn't just a message. It was a moment, a divine encounter wrapped in language, a heavenly code released in due time. You didn't stumble upon this. You were drawn to it. What has been ignited in you is not meant to fade. It's meant to burn, to stretch, to activate. Carry this word with you. Revisit it often. Let it echo in the chambers of your spirit. Let it confront your fear and confirm your fire. If this word met you in a valley, hold it close. If it caught you mid-transition, walk with it. And if it feels like it was written just for you, it was. Heaven speaks with precision. The Spirit knows your season. And now, let this be your act of response. If something inside you shifted, testify. Let your voice rise. Even in simplicity, comment below. I receive this. 3 words, but full agreement. Seal it in your own way. If this message breathed life into your soul, let it ripple outward, so it remains in your path. Share, so someone else can find their way back to purpose. You never know who's scrolling through the fog, waiting for a word. Subscribe to stay connected. This space isn't just a channel, it's a sanctuary for the remnant, a reservoir of revelation. And if you feel led, if your spirit has been truly nourished, consider sowing. Your support keeps this flow alive, extending light to those still searching. Give as you're led. No pressure, just obedience. You are not alone. You are seen. You are sent. And this is only the beginning.